And you're an artist. You make music as well.
Yes,
you
sir.
produce. Like this would be a great space for you to cultivate and also inquire with other artists. I'm assuming, right? Come on, like
Yeah.
it's also got that too.
Yeah, it's where I get my biggest inspirations for this shit from.
Really?
Yeah,
Name them.
honestly. Bro, like, all right, so as far as like rapping and shit goes, like the Wu-Tang Clan, of course.
Staten Island.
Yes, sir. You fucking-
Shout out Staten Island.
Shout out. Yeah, we was talking about that.
No one
you know
talks
what I'm
about them, but you
saying?
just said something.
You know? And like even like Big L, fucking Nas,
Queens.
newer artists that's like coming like that are like bigger. I guess in this day and age, like Westside Gun, Griselda, like them niggas. Mike, if you ever heard of him, shit like that. And then like producing around the same way, even like DJ Premier, shit like that. It's just like it's a lot of great sound, and even back like, cause I love jazz. Jazz is like above hip hop, above all else is like jazz. So people who have come out here to like record or who are from out here or have like run bands out here, like Miles Davis and John Coltrane and shit like that. And Duke Ellington, I get a lot of inspiration from shit like that.
So you're well educated in the various fields of different genres and how New York also affected those genres as well, it sounds like.
I would say so, yeah.
No, cool,
yeah,
man.
It's like being well versed in that helped me like cultivate a style and bring all these sounds together because I like sample producing and shit like that. So it's a beautiful place to go to when you're looking for like top notch sounds to work with.
And it's also somewhat endless, right? You have like a whole archive of different samples that you could go throughout all time.
Yeah.
What are some? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but what are some of those like samples that you seem to perhaps go to the most? Do you feel like there's certain particular ones that you go to the most, or is it something that you venture into different ones?
I think the most that like I find myself like most times, more often than not, I go to like piano samples or like saxophone samples, something like just very old school quintet style jazz, something like very blue. I guess you could call it like some blue note shit, and it's just like it brings on a mood. It's like such like raw emotion. Like it's easy for me to like catch an ear on like, oh wow, okay, so let me put a groove down with like some drums and shit to follow this, and then from there I could just like manipulate it or let it speak for itself.
It's easier for you to find the pocket,
right?
Exactly. Like you get it speaks to you, right? Because in certain, I find everything is a mutual exchange in that aspect of things, right? You're getting something from that sample, and that sample you're also giving it something. You know what I mean? At that same time, it's giving that element, and then in the end, you have a beautiful fucking creation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, that's what I would tell Prince. You know what I'm saying? But it is. You find that pocket, and for me, like jazz is just like everybody like be sampling everything. Like,
right.
There's a lot of great indie samples.
Right. I was gonna ask you. So, how do you feel about like, I guess, copyright in perspective to that? Because like I feel like isn't creativity a spinoff of creativity anyhow?
Yeah, and they always say like imitation is flattery and shit, which like I feel like people don't keep in mind enough when they're talking about sampling too. It's just like, oh yeah, like at the end of the day, most people are paying like homage to these things. These are sounds that move them, and they're trying to represent that. But I do feel like yes, there definitely is a place for copyright, where it's just like okay, like at some point the gray area between like I'm making money off of your creation that you did like wholeheartedly with the whole shit maybe, or even just like an untampered with section, and like trying to imitate your success. Like I feel like that's when it's just like okay, like you're not me.
Right. But I also do feel like all right, how many other imitations are there, and how many are there that are successful?
I
The
mean,
the reality is that the best ones are going to be successful, right?
well, yeah, and I think like,
So would that necessarily be bad as long as you give credit to where credit is due?
well, you think about like cover bands
Right.
and shit. You know, people that go on tour, they have a contract with, you know, whatever venue it is for their payout, but they're playing as these people, whoever they're covering, whether they're like a tribute band or whatever, and they're not necessarily making money off of the music itself, but they are crediting or like brandishing the name for the recognition of like whoever they're covering and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even when you post music like that's covering music, it's typically not monetized. It's just like you have to credit those people, you know. So like that's where like, you know, like that's a good, I feel like they're like that's a good example of a boundary
Mm.
being established and utilized, because like, you know, yeah, I just want to sing this song. I don't care if I get paid or not. I just want to sing this song and show
Right.
people it without penalty, and there will be no penalty as long as you say it's like a cover and shit. But like when it comes to like a sample, and you're just like, oh yeah, like let me take a piece of this nigga's song real quick and like go like make a double platinum record with
Mm.
it. It's kind of just like if you don't have that underlying credit or at least like some viable permission to use that shit in some way, shape, or form, it's kind of just like, well, like if you're a big artist, you know, if you're expecting a big payout, I say.
But if you're coming up,
If you're coming up, bro, because I don't want to be a hypocrite right now.
talking shit, talking shit. You gotta be real,
I'm
be
like,
real.
I'm just like, yeah, like, you know, I'm not fucking Travis Scott or Kanye, but like, and I guess you could compare this shit to Kanye when he was coming up, but like, when you got like big numbers, I feel like that's when like copyrights like definitely like some shit needs to be established.
Right.
And like when you're coming up, I
Some
don't know,
lines you
you
can't
can't like
cross.
how are you gonna like sue the nigga that got like 500 followers and like 20 listens on his song for sampling that shit?
Right.
At least he did something creative.
Nah, for real though, let them try shit.
You know, so like it's like a building block up to a certain point, and then I feel like after a certain point where niggas are pulling big numbers,
Right.
that's when
It matters.
some boundary needs to be established, or
Right.
some like communication needs to be like had, some
Right.
exchange where it's just like, okay, bro, like we'll both benefit off of this. I'm not gonna be the sole proprietor of like your creation.
Right.